Hey guys, welcome back to the Realms of Reading, and today I'm going to be reviewing Mistborn, The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. So I've been gone for like a week now. I'm sorry about that. I have not been feeling well at all. I just kind of had to take a break for a week from everything. I didn't really read, didn't really write. It's just been a lazy week, but we are back and we're at it, so let's get started with the review. So I already said in my top 10 favorite books video about how The Well of Ascension is one of my top 10 favorites, and this video is going to be explaining why, because the Mistborn trilogy as a whole was amazing, but The Well of Ascension really took it to the next level. It was Dune Messiah to Mistborn's Dune, and that's the best way I can compliment it because I love Dune Messiah just as much as the original Dune. And it does everything that a sequel needs to do. It raises the stakes. It takes Ven and Elend and the characters and puts them in situations where they're really struggling to survive. It does that great thing that sequels do where it separates the characters. It puts them in a challenge that they need to figure themselves out of, and they don't always have the support of their initial group. And it really just explores this world and the characters and the conflict to a deeper and more amazing level. And as for the characters, Ven obviously is excellent. She's a full-blown Mistborn. She's going around now and, doing incredible feats of murder and destruction. And Elend, her boyfriend, I guess you would call him, is now the king of Luthadel and really of all of the Final Empire. And he set up for himself this government, this parliament, and he set it up almost too well because it's a year after the first book and people aren't very happy with him. And there's a lot of fallout because of that, because at the beginning of the book, there's two armies on their doorstep and with a third on the way, and yeah, they're getting ready to get invaded, and Ven's unsure of herself. She's being followed by this mysterious new Mistborn that hides in the night, and she also sees that there's some weird things going on with the mists that she doesn't understand, and all of that just hooked me from the very beginning. It's such an incredible, wonderful book. And I can't really say much more about like the story and stuff without getting into spoilers, so we're gonna save that for the end. But in general, yeah, it's just an incredible book. The characters are amazing. It explores the magic system, obviously, even more. You get to learn of this new metal called Durlaminium. I'm not sure how to pronounce it exactly. I can't remember it off the top of my head. But basically it enhances the previous metal used, and it's a very neat tool that has some surprising uses. And you also get to explore more of Orsur, the conjurer from the first book, and he's a complicated character for multiple reasons that I can't get into without spoiling. That's a common key because there's a lot to spoil in this book. One of the new characters is Tinwyl. She is kind of Sazid's counterpart. She's also a terrace person. She's a terrace woman, and her specialty of knowledge is politics and like governing. And she really teaches Elend how to step up and be the king that he should be. And he's very reluctant at first. She gets him this new white outfit, teaches him how to like fight with a sword, and just like teaches him how to become a man. And Ven, obviously, she feels conflicted because she loves the soft spoken, reading a book, diplomatic Elend, and he gets turned into something else because that's what his kingdom needs him to be. And let's see, who else? There's Breeze, obviously, my favorite character. He's doing his thing. He got involved with one of the enemy's camps and kind of fell in love with their king's daughter. and that's an issue. Uh, Unfortunately, one complaint in this book is that I feel like the character of Doxson, Kelsier's right-hand man from the first book, is very much underutilized. I feel like Brandon Sanderson got to this book and didn't know what to do with him. He was like, hey, he's really not anything without Kelsier, so what do I do with him? And the results could have been better. I feel like he could have been part of the story more, but at the same time, just with how he feels, and you'll see if you read the book, well, no, it's not really a spoiler, he feels guilty for killing all the noble people that he did, especially after spending time around Elend and seeing that not all noblemen are bad, and that, like, this perception that he and Kelsier had about all of, like, the higher society being evil wasn't necessarily true. And he feels guilty, and that's really his role in this book, is to feel guilty, and understandably so, because as much as I love these characters, they are a bunch of ravenous murderers at times, and you can't forget that. But yeah, there's not much else I can get into without spoilers, so we're going to start that here. Overall, the book's definitely a 10 out of 10. Will read it again. It is the best Sanderson I have read so far. And yeah, so anyways, let's get into spoilers right now. So, the Well of Ascension, like, is a location. That's a lot. Because throughout the first book and the second book, you're led to believe that to the north is where the Terror's people lived, and that's where the Well of Ascension was. But throughout the book, Ven feels this pulse. She feels something calling to her. She sees this creature in the mists, like I said. And she knows that something's going on. Something's building up. And they get to a point where they realize that, like, she is the hero of ages, or at least she believes she is, and that she needs to get to the Well of Ascension and get the power. And they realize that the Well of Ascension isn't up north. It's in Luthadel. It's underneath Krennic Shaw, the Lord Ruler's palace. And that, like, the Lord Ruler, back when he took the power 1,000 years before, flattened the mountains and basically created, Luthadel on top of the Well of Ascension to hide it. And I thought that was one of the best plot twists, but, she goes there with Elend and takes the power, and all of these prophecies have said to give up the power, that the hero would take the power and then give it up. And so she does. She gets the power, and the Mist Spirit stabs Elend, and she's like, I have to be, courageous. I can't just keep this just for him. I have to give it up. And so she does. And then she hears this voice that says, I'm free. And that was, like, the most terrifying moment I've ever read in a book, because I was just like, what do you mean I'm free? Who? What? Where? Why? How? And so, yeah, she let something out of the Well of Ascension. It was not only a place of power, but a prison. And they give Elend a piece of metal that helps him survive, and does other stuff that I won't get into today. But yeah, it's very much, the ending is so great. It is my favorite ending of any of these three books, because it's so tense. You have this huge battle at the end where all the Koloss, which I didn't talk about those, but the Koloss are these giant, tall, hulking brutes. They have blue skin, and, like, the bigger they grow, the tighter their skin is, and it's, like, ripping. And they are vicious and unstoppable until Ven realizes that if she used Durlaminium, or whatever that is, that power that, like, enhances your blast, it controls them. She can get into their minds, and that's how the Lord Ruler controlled them. And so she does that and saves the city. But also, through this whole book, I'm sorry, I'm just rambling, but there's not much structure to this, but throughout the whole book, there's this mystery because they found a skeleton in a closet, literally. And that usually means a Kandra has eaten the body, but they're like, who? And so there's this big mystery of who could possibly be the imposter, and Ven can't figure it out. And eventually confronting this mysterious Mistborn, who turns out to be Zane, who is Ellen's half-brother. She's fighting him because he's in love with her. He's completely crazy, but he loves her and thinks that they're so much alike that they're both outcasts, and he wants her to come with her and be with her. And she refuses, and so he tries to kill her. And she tries to get Orsur to help, but Orsur follows Zane instead. And you find out that Orsur, her Kandra, is actually Zane's Kandra. Well, actually, Seraph Venture's Kandra, but yeah, Orsur is actually Tensoon. That's his real name. He killed Orsur and has been the spy the whole time. And that's another wonderful, awesome twist in this book, and I love it to death. But Tensoon and Ven throughout this book had built this connection. Like, he was very hesitant and hated all humans at first. But then he got to talking to Ven and like really like got to know her and care about her. And so he disobeys Zane and helps Ven out. And it's just such a beautiful moment. Their friendship in this book is perfect. Like, it's one of my favorite aspects. They're just wonderful together. But anyways, yeah, I've been talking about this long enough. I have a lot of feelings about this book, obviously, but, you know, it's nice to get back to making videos, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Thank you guys so much. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and have a great day.